Once again, Mother Nature was not a race fan. We catch up with some of the action from the high banks of the Valley of Speed, plus interviews and more. Quick Time starts now.
No matter where you get, it's not pretty.
The following video is brought to you by Cranes Outdoor Power Equipment. Visit them on the web at cranesope.com. Hello everyone, I'm Mike Warren and welcome to another episode of Quick Time. As we mentioned in the open, almost every track in upstate New York was washed out by the rains. So, we're going to head to the high banks of the Valley of Speed where they were able to get in most of the racing activities. Small block modifieds were the first feature to hit the track with Olden Dwyer and Peter Carlotto on the front row, and these highlights brought to you by Flat Companies. Some heavy hitters started deep in the pack, including Kenny Tremont, Brett Haas, and Demetrius Strelos, as they all fight for position early. And take a look at this good battle between Frank Hort and Ray Hall Jr. as they battled outside the top 5 for position. Last week's winner, Demetrius Strelos, gets by the 55 of Brett Haas as Chad Pierce finds trouble down the back straightaway, and he'll slow. Also, Ricky Davis in the 43 comes to a complete stop, which would bring the yellow out on the speedway. A lap after the restart, Kenny Tremont going to take it 3 wide with Brett Haas and Frank Hort the third, along with his good buddy Demetrius Strelos knocking right on the back door. Get the position to Tremont as he passes 3 cars as Hall skates high in turn 3 in that number 72 machine. Caution will come out once again after a left front flat tire on Brett Haas's car. He would go pit side but would make it back out onto the speedway. Back on the gas is the 115 to Tremont as he gets position around Brandon Pitcher and now sets his sights on third place from Kim Lavoie. Now with just 10 laps to go, the Sand Lake Slingshot still looking to pick up win number 1 as he gets by Frank Harper for second, but it was going to be too little too late as he runs out of laps for Olden Dwyer with escapes to the victory.
The car was phenomenal. I couldn't ask for a better car that these guys gave me tonight, and great up front starting position. You always know Kenny's coming. You never for a second think that he's not coming because he always is. Didn't see a nose, didn't really see anybody coming, and we were just fast. I was pretty confident, that with no late race caution, we could come out with a win.
We're happy. I mean, of course, that's part of the game. I mean, you're always trying to do better. So, we're happy with second. Obviously, the name of the game is to win. So, we started deeper. The handicapping system's changed a little bit, so they handicapped 9 out of 2 heats. So that would put us in the last row, 17th, 18th position. We dug for all we were worth. We'd just come up a little bit short. So, I mean, that's okay. I mean, it's the same for everybody. So we just got to try to make the car a little quicker and come through a little quicker.
Dwyer picks up a much-needed win. Tremont would settle for second, Frank Harper third, Demetrius Strelos fourth, and J.R. Hefner would round out the top 5. Green flag for the Pro Stocks. His highlights brought to you by La Rochelle Auto Body and Restoration as Tom Dean and Todd Hoffman going to lead the field up into turn number 1. Everybody looking for some racing room off turn number 4 here as Nick Hilton, the 17, and Ricky Duzlak briefly come together. Then on the backstretch, 4 wide usually doesn't work, and it's not going to here as rookie Jason Meltz goes for a wild spin, but he would continue on. More trouble now as more cars collected, including Hilt, Matt Cross, Victor Hopkins, and he would get a piece of the action along with front row starter Tommy Dean in the 413 as the yellow would stay out onto the speedway as some unforeseen circumstances worked their way onto the racetrack. However, racing would resume as they worked their way into turn number 3. Here's John Ruthier and Jay Corbin getting by Hoffman in the 08, setting their sights on leader Rick Dempsey. They would inch closer to the back bumper of the 35, and it looked to be a 3-man race to the lead when Dempsey gets a little high, wide, and handsome and loses the handle in turn 3. Just past the halfway point now, Mr. Perfect Rob Yetman, who's gone 2 for 2 to start 2017, makes a move here around Stephen LaRochelle. Side by side just in front of Yetman for third is Chuck Towsley and Paul LaRochelle going at it. But out front doing all he can to get by that 315 was Jake Corbin, but he was in a pickle and couldn't make it happen as John Ruthier scores the win.
To be 100% honest, I never knew it was Corbin behind me. I might have squeezed it down a little bit more if I'd known it was Corbin behind me, but I wasn't sure, and I knew if I held my line, it was going to be a very tough racetrack to get around me.
I think if I had a couple extra laps, I might have gotten around it because his car was getting looser and looser. My problem with my car was I was tight from the center out, and I couldn't get back to the throttle when I needed to. After last week, this is definitely a win for us. Last week the car was pretty much destroyed front to back. and we spent every night putting the car back together for tonight. So a second place, I'll take it after last week.
Ruthier grabs his first win since 2015. Jay Corbin would finish in second. La Rochelle 30. Yetman, the Big Cat, coming home fourth, and Chuck Towsley would be fifth. The main event of the evening, of course, being the Mighty Modifieds, was scheduled to go out, but due to unforeseen circumstances from Friday rains, officials at the Speedway were forced to cancel the rest of the racing, and they will have double features this week.
They actually had asked me to take a ride around with the pace truck, and I did. I was a little bit nervous about turn 3. It was pretty dark. I mean, turn 2 was dark. 3 I thought was worse. So I was more worried about 3. So I mean, my vote was a no. Rather than stack cars up there the first couple laps, everybody gets pretty busy there, 2, 3, 4 wide going into 3. I didn't think it would be a good idea to run. With limited lighting. Why? There's no need for that. We can come back next week and run 2 features and make a good show out of it.
We always have a good time. It's a fun place to race, and with Middletown raining out, and we made the right call to come here first. So we played those cards right, and then with the power problem they had here, just kind of stinks. So I'm not sure if we can make it back next week for the double features, but we'll see. We see what happens over the week, and it was good. We had our new DKM car, and that the Halmar teams had, and we put together. So we're working on it, and it's pretty quick there in fast warm-ups right before the feature, right before we were supposed to run the feature. So we're pretty happy with it, and we're going in the right direction. So it was looking good. Just a shame things like this happen.
Corey, opening night here for Fonda Speedway and the CRSA Sprints there. What are you looking for tonight?
Definitely always looking to pull off a really good finish here for the home crowd. Top 3 would be really great. We're starting in the back of the heat race. We got to try and get our way up into the redraw. Track's going to be real racy tonight. It's going to be tough to pass. There's a lot of bite, but hopefully our goal overall is the top 3 finish, but a win's always really nice, and just go out and have some fun.
What are your plans for the 2017 season?
We're going to bounce around a little bit between CRSA, the Patriot Sprint Tour, and ESS, all the local shows and some of the bigger money shows. But between all the series, we got a fairly full schedule.
Talking about the sprint cars here, it's not a new thing in the Northeast anymore. What is it to see the growth of the sprint cars over the years you've been doing this?
Oh, it really is cool. I mean, the CRSA club has grown incredibly. They're coming on really strong. To see the sprint cars more and more around in the Northeast, it's definitely a good thing, because we are definitely in the heart of modified country. It's hard to compete with, but the sprint cars are definitely growing.
What are your goals for the 2017 season?
Just top 3 finishes as much as we can. Just be consistent and try not to tear anything up, and get a couple wins.
Coming up later this year on Race Pro Weekly, a special presentation on modified driver Tommy Johnson and how he beat cancer and was able to race once again.
Bad times, it's obviously rough, but it makes the good times even better. It makes them sweeter, makes you want to hold on to the good times longer.
That'll do it for this week's episode of Quick Time. A special thanks goes out to sponsors of Flat Companies, Canaan Auto Supply, La Rochelle Auto Body and Restoration, Cranes Outdoor Power Equipment, Tom Saban, and Bobco Media. I'm Mike Warren. We'll see you next time at the races.